Hello, and welcome to TSTV, a show in which I, Sadie, guide my friend Lily through the wild world of Twin Peaks. Today we are talking about Twin Peaks Episode 17, also known as Season 2, Episode 10, also known as Dispute Between Brothers. Lily, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, you know. I finally put out that DIY healthcare video last night, which has been just like, just eating every second of my time for the last like 2-3 weeks. So that feels really, really nice. It's being received well. It's doing very well. So I'm chilling.
Yeah, I started watching it. I really liked it.
Oh, thanks, dude. I'm glad. It was really fun doing all these like custom like graphics and stuff. That was somewhat new for me.
Yeah, I liked the blood wisdoms.
Oh, thank you. That one was in there for you. I thought you'd appreciate my blood wisdoms. You made it pretty far in then.
Yeah, I intend to finish it today or tomorrow or whatever.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. That's the main thing on my end. How you been, Sadie?
To the listener, as you could tell based on the fact that Lily just mentioned a video that came out in January 2025, we are so much in your past.
Yeah.
And you're in our future, which means, listener, if you know something about the future that you're able to transmit to me via this audio recording,
send it back.
Yeah, just like send it through the electronic, through the tubes, like in a David Lynch film. Which is the other big thing is, in kind of astonishing timing, we are recording this a week after the death of David Lynch.
Yeah, holy shit, dude.
Which sucks.
It sucks. I know he had been in poor health for a while.
Yeah.
But I was not expecting this so soon. I don't know.
I know. You know, it makes sense that I'm a David Lynch fan on account of that I'm doing this podcast, but like I really, you know, I had like my first book of poetry out, and I was kind of like, okay, I'm done with writing for a bit. And honestly, in a big way, I think going on the David Lynch kick that I did in like 2022 or so, or 2022, 2023, but like really got me like writing again. And like I had been trying to move into fiction and kept getting caught up on like, how do you do fiction as a poet, you know? Like in a real way, like getting into David Lynch, it like unlocked a part of my brain of just going like, oh, okay, yeah, you can just do shit. You know what I mean?
That's great. Yeah, I've felt the same to some extent, and I'm feeling, you know, more compelled than ever to do some really weird, just like intuitive shit right now.
Yeah, for real.
Definitely watching his impact on your creative practice has been really wonderful especially since we started doing the show, you know?
Yeah, I've been on a nice little like routine with my writing where my friend Rain, who lives across the hall, and I will like go for a little stroll in the morning, and then I'll go to their apartment, and then I'm not in my apartment, so I can't be on my precious computer, and Rain has someone around to motivate them to not just lie back down, and then I'll get I'll get like an hour of writing done, which is great. If any of you have the opportunity to have like one of your best friends live across the hall from you, I recommend it.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah, I was doing that this morning, and I was writing a weird ass dream sequence. I'm like, yeah, this one's for you, Dave, you know?
Oh, that's beautiful. And honestly, just seeing the outpouring of like homages from literally every artist I know.
Yeah, for real.
Has just been so touching. Like, talk about leaving, you know, the creative world a better place than you found it. I feel like we've all, you know, learned a lot from him, directly or indirectly. So you've been watching a fair bit of his works over this past week, is that right?
Yeah, the day he died, I watched Fire Walk with Me, which I know is cheating on the podcast, but
that's okay.
I needed to get fucked up, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And then I watched Blue Velvet, which actually you and I watched the first like half hour of Blue Velvet until we got to the big scene in the movie that's like, let's really think about and witness sexual violence. And we're like, you know what? We're not against this, but this isn't. We were just like, I don't know, let's watch a David Lynch movie. It's like 2 in the afternoon, you know? We're like, okay, maybe not right now. But sure. I finished it, and gotta say, fucking great movie.
I believe it.
Yeah. And then I rewatched Mulholland Drive with a friend who had never seen it before. I love being there for someone's first Mulholland Drive, you know?
Yeah. We watched it together for my first time, my only time so far, and it was just wonderful experience. I saw this post about someone who in their like freshman year of college they would just decide to watch Mulholland Drive like once a week, and they would always invite people over to gauge their reaction, and that's how they decided to make like all their friends.
God, I love that. That's so good.
It's kind of great. So which movies of his have you not seen yet? Because I have an idea, but I'll get into it when you've answered.
Oh, interesting. Honestly, the ones I haven't seen are most of the more quote unquote normal ones. Because like I started with Twin Peaks and then just watched Inland Empire, which I would not recommend to be anyone's first David Lynch movie. But
God, no.
Was it the first one that I made you watch, Lily?
No, I had seen Mulholland Drive, which is a good primer.
Okay. I am the kind of weirdo that's what I need, to sell me on the rest. So, because even watching Blue Velvet, I was like, oh, I'm surprised at how much it's kind of a normal mystery thriller. Like, it has weird stuff in it, and it has, like, it's intense. It has, like, sexual violence, but it's not, like, doing Inland Empire or Mulholland Drive, So, I have not seen The Elephant Man, Dune, Wild at Heart, The Straight Story.
Have you seen Eraserhead?
I have seen Eraserhead.
Word. I'm feeling very compelled to watch The Elephant Man in particular. I know that's one of my mom's favorite movies. We had it on VHS.
I remember you saying that. Yeah. Had you seen it as a kid?
No, never, but she's been telling me to forever.
Oh. Well, listen. Yeah. Actually, yeah. So I've seen all the other ones. So it's just Wild at Heart, Dune, Elephant Man, Straight Story. What was your idea? Was it that we should watch The Elephant Man, or?
Not specifically, but yes. I mean, I was just thinking maybe we should do like a season of the movies, like a mini season, or maybe we should just do maybe we should make a point of watching all of them as like bonus episodes for the bonus feed,
Yeah, I feel like definitely in between David Lynch movies and like other stuff that we've been watching that's like David Lynch adjacent, we'll definitely get to them all, I think.
Yeah. I would love to go chronologically, actually. I think that would be a cool way to do it.
God, I was thinking about that when I was watching Blue Velvet, because, like, again, I started with Inland Empire, which was his last feature film. And so I've been, honestly, more working my way backwards than anything else. But
yeah,
he has kind of an insane chronology. Like, for your first movie, have you seen Eraserhead?
No.
Okay, I'm sure you know the vibes. Like, it is very... probably his second weirdest after Inland Empire.
Wow,
frankly.
Holy shit, really?
Yeah, and
it's like weirder than Mulholland Drive, really.
I would say so, definitely, yeah. And then he does Elephant Man, which I know was like the one that Mel Brooks like kind of, got him to do, and it is like a normal movie.
Mel Brooks?
Yeah, Mel Brooks executive produced The Elephant Man, and like I think like really liked Eraserhead. Yeah, and like championed like having David Lynch direct it, I believe. Apparently he was uncredited to avoid audience anticipating the film being a comedy.
Oh, that's great. Huh.
Oh, there's someone else that I was listening to a podcast recently that like Mel Brooks also. Who was it? Listener, if you know the other kind of artsy director that Mel Brooks like introduced, like got into Hollywood, say it to yourself out loud right now and don't email us.
Crumple it up, write on a little piece of paper, crumple it up, and eat it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing, because he did Eraserhead, which was a hit, but in a cult hit in the way that it was really bizarre, but did make $7 million.
That's not bad at all.
Then yeah, Mel Brooks was like, this is crazy. I want to get this guy to make a movie. So it does The Elephant Man, which to my understanding is kind of a normal movie, although very sad and has some David Lynch stuff. Then he does Dune, which was a flop. And then he does Blue Velvet, which is like considered, like very well considered now, but was pretty panned on release.
It was. Oh.
I mean, financially, definitely. Budget of $6 million, barely made $8.6 million in the box office. And critically was very like polarizing, like because it has so much sexual violence and like extreme content. There was a lot of people that felt that it was just too much, that it was like, sensationalizing, that it was exploitative. And there are some people who really liked it. But I know that, I think, he's always said like Dune was the one that he didn't have final cut on and, flopped, and he felt personally unhappy with it because like it wasn't really the movie that he would have wanted to make. And so then Blue Velvet just kind of was like, I'm just going for it. I'm not letting anyone censor me.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, but then was also like complicatedly received.
Yeah, I see.
And then Wild at Heart with fucking Laura Dern and Nicolas Cage, which is also crazy.
I need to see that.
I know. I really want to watch it with Maya. And then Twin Peaks, and like Twin Peaks explodes. Actually, let's see. Wild at Heart is 1990. So yeah, that is before Twin Peaks. Like, yeah, Twin Peaks explodes. Twin Peaks movie is a bomb. And then he does Lost Highway. Straight Story, the like Disney, like my understanding, his most normie like Disney film.
Yeah.
And then Mulholland Drive, Inland Empire. And it's just like, yeah, what a bizarre like trajectory of like going in and out of, starting with this extremely experimental, bizarre film, dipping into normie films, and then just going back into weirdo shit, then doing Twin Peaks, and then doing the Straight Story, and then like kind of spending the last, like 15 years of his career just like doing Mulholland Drive, Inland Empire, and Twin Peaks The Return, which are like truly, truly experimental.
It's true. I think it's like, surveying all that just makes me so sad that he was not able to find funding for Wisteria, which would have been his like final movie. Because what other artist starts in the 70s and peaks 30 years later in their 50s or 60s? Like, that's really amazing, just how much he had to say, how much he had to give, especially like, I don't know, I think a large part of that is because he was able to keep with the times and really take advantage of like digital filmmaking. Man, yeah, it just, obviously no one has a filmography like this, but I do just think, like, I'm sure, knowing filmmakers, there was so much more that he wanted to do and was not able to.
It's honestly like, I really feel that there's part of me that's like, when we get to Twin Peaks The Return, I think like there's part of me that's like, I'm glad at least he got to end his career with Twin Peaks The Return, in that like,
that's true.
It was like 18 episodes, all written and directed by him along with Mark Frost. And like,
that's amazing.
When we get to Twin Peaks The Return, girl, like there's shit in there that to this day, I'm like, how did he get that to air on weekly television? How did
I'm
ever,
so excited.
Like, he must have pulled every favor, and like, I think it's his magnum opus, it's going to be crazy when we get there. But like, honestly, the big thing that I keep thinking, and like a lot of people have said this, and it's going to be weird for listeners listening to this in like a year and a half or whatever, but like today, in the current like financial cinematic landscape, you couldn't make Dune, which bombs, Blue Velvet, which bombs, and then still make Twin Peaks, and then still make Wild at Heart, and like they just don't let you do that shit. Like even the A24s of the world or whatever.
It's true.
Like,
even if those movies were hits, you wouldn't be able to make Twin Peaks, is my honest thought.
Yeah, right. It really says something about like the increasing centralization and like everything must be blockbuster-fication of making movies. I know there's like that quote from, I think, Matt Damon of all people, about like how
DVDs.
Yeah, exactly. DVD sales like meant that you could make a movie that wasn't a box office success and you could make your money back in 6 months. And that's just like not true anymore,
Yeah. Yeah, shit, man. I mean, honestly, even seeing, and we should move on soon, but
yeah.
The amount of money that some of these movies made is honestly itself really impressive to me. Like, Mulholland Drive made $20 million at the box office. That is fucking staggering. Like, I think of much less weird movies that made less money for being too weird. Like, I saw the TV Glow came out this year, made a quarter of that. And like with inflation, far, far less. And I said this year, but it was in fact 2024. Yeah, man. The New World, struggles to be born and all that.
I saw a thing the other day. I saw the TV Glow. The amount that it made is actually the current price of a carton of eggs. Just makes you think.
Oh, thanks, inflation.
Anyway, as for like our actual podcast, it is kind of crazy that we've just got to the part of Twin Peaks where like famously David Lynch, it's still not the most clear to me how much of a like strict cut it was. I don't know how much he was still around, but like popular understanding at least is that we're now at the David Lynch has left the show part of Twin Peaks, and he just died in real life for us, which is
Yeah,
Very bizarre.
I agree. Yeah, weird timing. Not much to say other than that.
Yeah. I know you said watched movie on your How You've Been. Did you have movie to talk about?
Oh, I'll make this quick, but I watched Down with Love yesterday, which is a really fun rom-com. It's like I think 2003 rom-com about like a feminist writer and a Playboy journalist sort of feuding with each other. It's one of those movies that we had a million of in the 2000s about how awesome it is to be like a magazine writer in New York City and like how much money you make and how epic it is. And I just fucking live for these. I think this is the best one. It's just got a bunch of totally gimmicky bullshit that it's having so much fun with. The set design is like fabulous. Yeah, to me, this is a classic up there with like Legally Blonde and those, just as far as like that era of like socially conscious but only kind of movies.
Hell yeah. Love it.
Woohoo. Anyway,
Let's talk about Twin Peaks. Want to listen to what the log lady has to say?
I guess we should.
Alrighty. She tells us today, complications.
Complications set in. Yes, complications. How many times have we heard, it's simple? Nothing is simple. We live in a world where nothing is simple. Each day, just when we think we have a handle on things, suddenly some new element is introduced and everything is complicated once again. What is the secret? What is the secret to simplicity, to the pure and simple life? Are our appetites, our desires, undermining us? Is the cart in front of the horse?
Oh,
Why did you have to go and make things so complicated?
Just like reading the transcript of this log lady segment, I wasn't that impressed. But then it's all in the delivery. It's like it has a great meter to it. I love the repetition, like complications set in. Yes, complications. How many times have we heard it's simple, nothing is simple? I mean, you guys just heard it too, but yeah, I don't know. Just it has a really nice, dreamy sort of flow to it.
This one feels very like, okay, guys, there's more plot in the season. Where Dale Cooper is about to think that he can leave Twin Peaks, but no.
Yeah, totally.
Also, honestly, the like, are our appetites, our desires undermining us? I know I'd been talking over the last couple episodes about like all of the consumption, food and violence, and like the way that the spirits have been like defined by their appetites, and that equating with like consuming a TV show. That line feels very, David Lynch when writing these, like turning to the camera. You wanted the killer to be revealed. Are your appetites or your desires undermining you?
True.
Makes you think,
I like that. We continue to track the consumption, stuff. There's a lot of food in this episode, specifically on the occasion of a death.
Also, I just want to shout out, these videos usually they like will have barely any comments or just a comment being like, oh, this really makes me think of this other scene in Twin Peaks. This one just has 2 comments, one from 7 months ago that says, "Aw, yeah," and one from 13 days ago that says, "You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice." So shout out to the 2 YouTube comments on this video.
Those are really good. That's great. Nice, dude.
Okay, so the episode itself, I will just say off the dome, this is written by Trisha Brock, who I believe is her first credit on here, and directed by Tina Rathborn, who previously directed episode 3, and who also we talked about at that point that she directed this movie Zelly and Me that David Lynch had a bit part in, because Isabella Rossellini was in it.
Zelly and Me.
And Me. Yeah, so she's back. So the show opens with an off-puttingly serene Leland funeral sequence where we also learn that Dwayne and Dougie Milford, the mayor and publisher of the local newspaper, are brothers and angry at each other, ? I put a question mark there because I guess is what the episode is titled after, and they sure go to lengths to highlight it, but it doesn't
It doesn't seem to matter, right?
It's just kind of there.
Anyway.
Anyway.
I think the other thing with the dispute between brothers is US and Canada.
Oh, sure. I was also like, the brothers in arms of the FBI, but yeah.
Oh, true. Of course.
So Coop is very sad to have to say goodbye to Twin Peaks, but duty calls and he's off to do FBI stuff. Or is he? Turns out he's under investigation, sponsored by Jean Renault and the dastardly RCMP. To take the edge off, he goes fishing with Garland Briggs, who disappears?
Ta-da!
Meanwhile, Jacoby, Catherine, and Josie all reappear with varying degrees of explanation. Nadine is the best, most throwingest cheerleader Twin Peaks High has ever seen. Andy and Dick's dad contest begins. Bobby has a new get-rich-quick scheme, but gets distracted by getting his dick sucked. Norma's mom is MT Wentz, and her husband is talked by Hank and Jean into doing cybercrime. What do you think of this episode?
You know what? It is better than I expected it to be. Is what I will say. Probably the funniest moment in the entire show just absolutely comes out of nowhere with Nadine.
It's so good.
There's some pretty obvious contrivance of like, hey, we're deciding these two characters feel this way about each other for plot. But honestly, it didn't bother me all that much. I thought this was pretty good.
Here's one thing I can say that's good about this episode. The music is great, which has always been true. I feel like there's a few new question mark tracks, or at least like there's a way that there's, in a lot of the scenes, there's this like the kind of clarinet and the kind of like not snare drum, but like the type of fuzzy when you rub the thing on the drum, you know, that's just kind of floating.
Thing.
Yeah, who up rubbing their thing on the drum? It's kind of floating through a lot of the scenes in a way that I actually really, really like. I do have to say, there is definitely like the vibe feels altered. And I don't know how much of that is like me placeboing myself, you know, but it does feel like there are scenes, like even this opening funeral scene, there's like something that like the way characters talk to each other and the way things are paced feels like there's a touch that's a bit missing. You know, do you agree?
Definitely something feels different. I think it works for me. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, this episode is back to like, shall we say, like mid-season 1, just like 30 characters doing shenanigans.
Yeah.
Which I honestly, I'm realizing I kind of missed.
Yeah, it is good to see everyone get up to their little nonsense.
Yeah, the tone of the first couple scenes is fascinating. I would love to jump in and talk about that.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Awesome.
So, right off the bat, we open with... So, the wiki summary here just says, Dr. Hayward checks on Sarah, which is not the first verb that he is doing. It is trying to sedate her, which I immediately was like, bro, no, because we were talking about that so much. It is happening again. She refuses it. She says she needs to be like all the way there at the funeral, which even like in terms of the show kind of addressing that feels a little bit beside everything that was happening, you know, but I am glad to see her like, yeah, please don't drug me. And especially that Dale does say like Leland went so far as to drug you, like he knew and was still going to do this, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, it is fucking crazy. Also, Sarah doesn't seem like, not in the sense that she's in shock. She seems much less affected than you would expect, judging from like when Laura died, right? And this one I feel would even be more devastating because she's also found that there was like abuse happening in her household and all this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's really the vibe. We'll talk about this with the funeral too, or like the wake, but there's a real sense of like, and now it can be at peace. The matter is put to rest.
Yeah.
Which is bizarre given the revelations. So the other, I think, big note of this scene is Dale saying like, you know, Leland was possessed by an evil spirit. It wasn't Leland who did these things. And Sarah's like, yeah, it was that man with the long, dirty, disgusting hair, which I just made a note. It's like, that hippie. But there's like a real impetus.
Also sucks for Frank De Silva because that's just like it's based on him.
It's really funny. Yeah, it feels like there's a real impetus to clear Leland's name, and they both just kind of nod at each other and agree that it is done. Laura even says, like, you know, he died peacefully. He went to the light. He saw Laura. I believe
Dale says he. Sorry, you said Laura says.
No, yeah, Dale says that, but he says, I believe that she forgave him, which I'm going to say is a crazy...
Oh my God.
That's a crazy claim for you to make, Dale Cooper, about how Laura Palmer feels about Leland Palmer from the afterlife, you know?
Yeah, holy shit, dude. Okay, another thing that Dale says that doesn't sit right is he reassures Sarah that, quote, he's gone forever, Bob. But like they just talked about how they don't know where Bob is in the previous episode. That just feels like it's definitely going to come back and bite us.
Bite the biter. Yeah, this one's weird, and this is another scene where I'm trying to not like placebo myself too much into being like, oh well, David Lynch wouldn't have, you know, Dale say something as trite as like, I think Laura forgave him, but also he would. Like, David Lynch does love, and there was a moment of transcendental beauty and love erased all evils in the last moments, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. It's hard, but I think at the very least how it's handled here doesn't work for me. I think it feels too much like, all right, then we figured that out, you know?
Sure. Especially after the weight of the final scene of the last episode, which is like everyone is sitting with this reality and it is clearly just weighing like so psychically heavy.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to say before we move on is like, despite this weird approach, Grace Zabriskie, who plays Sarah, does a really good job. Like, I think specifically, oh my God, this line that she has of like, my husband's going to be buried right next to my daughter. Her grave is so, and then she searches for her words, new. There's only a little bit of grass on it.
Yeah,
holy
it's really
shit.
good.
So that to me is like the way she searches for her words, the way like it's not like a super eloquent thing, just it feels very real. It doesn't feel very TV. It like that to me communicates shock in a way that the rest of this episode doesn't really. But yeah, that really got me, that line.
Yeah, it's really good. And yeah, so this energy kind of continues on into the next scene of the wake. Do you want to tell us about that one?
Yeah. Okay. So the wake is like a tableau of like 4 or 5 different groups of people. I'm just going to kind of run through them like one by one. I won't do this chronologically because we get like 2 or 3 moments with everyone. Let's see. We get Ed, Nadine, and Donna together. Nadine is looking more transgender than ever and absolutely beautiful. She's wearing this crazy, like, it's not a maid outfit, but I don't know what it is a reference to. Like, I have no idea what she's supposed to be, other than her shoes are exceptionally shiny and she sees reflections in it that other people don't, which I think is really fun.
I'm obsessed with your note. Her whole demeanor reminds me of Ethel Cain.
It's true. Like, I don't even know how to explain it, like wayfish, maybe.
Okay, yeah. I'm not an Ethel Cain scholar, but I was like, what was it? Because to me, Ethel Cain has her music is most of what I know, and her little posts, but I wouldn't have jumped to Ethel Cain with the like silly childishness of Nadine here. But
it's not about that. It's about her like body language and stuff. It kind of goes against how she's dressed. Yeah, I don't know, man. Anyway, so they have a little moment. Nothing super plot relevant there. I think it's mostly just to say like, remember Nadine? She's still like that.
Yeah.
God bless her.
Boys are gonna look in the reflections of her shoes up her skirt
and see her underwear. She's such a queen.
Yeah.
Sarah is sitting with Audrey on the couch. They are talking about how Donna and Laura had promised to be best friends forever, like possibly to protect Laura from Leland. That was good. That was heavy. Let's see. We got Dr. I'm going to say it wrong again. Jacoby?
No, you did it. Woo!
Yeah! Dr. Jacoby is at this wake in a completely fucking insane outfit. Like the most, I took a screenshot. So red pinstripe suit, even brighter red button down underneath that is honestly like really cute. I like it a lot. It seems to have like a mountain range pattern. And then he's got his red and blue glasses. This is fucking it's sick as fuck. And I feel like were the tone of the scene not so weird, it would feel even more inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just chilling. Like the vibe is super friendly. You got Dale is just saying like, oh, I'm gonna miss this place. Haha, I'm gonna go on vacation. So nice. I'm not like summarizing that much here because it's mostly character moments, you know?
Yeah. Like the only other little thing is we get the two old brothers who we are told are arguing, and they've always been arguing, and that one of them is marrying a teenager, which they're all like, ha ha ha.
We've learned nothing.
Yeah, I just want to jump in because of what you're saying about the tone. It is like, I know your notes say like it's almost like a relief.
Yeah, they're like, well, we did everything we could. It's over now. Like there's no next step for them. And they just seem at peace with that.
Yeah. And I think that's the big thing that is so strange about this to me is like, Twin Peaks, the show, has always been about, it's not just, there's a murder, they solve it, they move on. It's like the way that Laura's murder has like, rippled through the whole town, right? And I think for Leland's death here, all of this has the vibe of like, okay, that plot arc is done. Now there's a new one. We can forget about it. And I think it is strange to me in that sense, how it feels like the sense of the like continuity of grief and the way that it keeps going and like keeps sticking around in the town feels like it's being dispelled here. Like there's an attempt to dispel it in a way that I think like doesn't sit very well with me. I think also again it's just the thing of like, even that scene, the little bit of Sarah Palmer talking with Donna's mom. Sarah's like, oh, I need to remember all this, and it has the vibe of like as if Laura and Leland just like died in a car crash, like normally. It's not
true.
By a mundane death and like a mundane faultless death, and now they're just kind of reminiscing. And I'm like, hey, 2 weeks ago your daughter was murdered, or 3 weeks, or however long it's been now, and
by your husband.
Yeah, and then you found out that it was by your husband, and also he was serially raping her and drugging you, and also possessed by an evil spirit. And I feel like that should have more of I feel like the town should be reckoning with that more than they are. There does feel definitely. Like there's a real kind of like, this is like both, again, kind of metafictional, and the nature of the town is that it feels like there's a real sense of like, okay, that's done. We can stop talking about it now, and we don't need to like talk about what that means about the nature of our town that Leland Palmer was doing these things, We're back
to just loving it. So quaint, so beautiful. I'm gonna go fishing.
Yeah, there's even a moment where in that bit with Donna's mom and Sarah, when Sarah was like, yeah, they were best friends. It was like they had a bond against. Donna's mom jumps in and is like, against dying. Which is,
oh my God, what?
Yeah. It's like, it's kind of played as like, Sarah's like a bond against and kind of like can't say it. And Donna's mom is like dying. Like she can tell. She's like, yeah, I get it. And I don't think that's what their bond was against. I think their bond was against their repeated sexual assault and being held prisoner by the nuclear family. And like, you know what I mean? I think there's like a real like speaking over the realities of rape and what it means for Leland Palmer to have been the vehicle of that, whether or not he knew or whatever, like all the kind of spiritual stuff aside, there's a real sense of the town being like, yeah, we don't have to worry about all that now, which is kind of crazy.
I have long felt that the tone at funerals is really weird, specifically like Christian or like secular descendant of Christian funerals. It just feels like no one really knows what to do. I like when people in my life sort of started dying more as like relatives got older. I expected it to be more grief related, but it feels like a lot of awkward chit chat and sandwiches a lot of the time.
Yeah
And it does feel like, wow, this is like a very meaningful thing that we're all going through, and we're kind of, despite being here, not acknowledging it. I don't know. Like I have, thank God, never had to plan a funeral. I have never been like at the sort of in the closest circle when a person has died, but that's not something I've ever understood. So in that way, the scene actually feels pretty honest. Like the fact that most people are just like shooting the shit and eating,
Yeah. It's a lot. I think also the other thing here is that we're introduced about this dispute between brothers. And again, in the same, like, beat of, this moving past the reality of what Leland was doing to Laura, they are just like, oh, these two old brothers, one of them's getting married for the 6th time to a teenager, sort of one of those January, December romances is how Pete says it. And it is just
January, December is really good.
But that's the thing.
Usually it's May, December.
Exactly. But that's the thing, is it is like, hey guys, it is truly is, we have learned nothing. It's still just like, haha, that's so funny. Anyway.
No, it's true. It's kind of fucked, actually.
Yeah. I'm still on my, I don't know about you, the Town of Twin Peaks,
Oh yeah, dude.
But so bizarre opening 2 scenes. And I think there are a lot in this episode that I like. And I think these 2 are what start to make me be like, would this have like a prick to it that it doesn't? Like, I'm being very woman who's been reading about Roland Barthes this past week, but his thing of like the punctum of a photograph being like what, when you see it, that like jabs you and like pierces you in a way that you weren't expecting, But you know what I mean? I'm like, would there be something in this that is more, feels like, a bit more aware of that and a bit more doing that if David Lynch was here? And I don't know, maybe there was, because I was, pierced by the way that Donna's mom spoke over Sarah. But I think these scenes, I think, feel a bit to me like they're missing a bit of the sauce.
Yeah.
However, we then move to what is to be enjoyed about Twin Peaks season 2 in a very short scene that I see you have claimed.
Yes, I have. This is one Mr. Big Ed with Dr. Jacoby in the high school, which we haven't been to the high school in so long. I have genuinely really missed it. Like, it was such a part of the pilot, and I thought it was going to continue. Like, high school shenanigans are so good. Anyway, this is just them begging the one of the like higher ups at the school to please let this 35-year-old wife of mine please attend high school. And then Nadine like runs in. She's like, come on guys, I have to get to class. And she's in her uniform, but it's so cute.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, so good. I don't think I have anything to say to you.
I just love that we get the like like song that we had heard when Nadine, I think, was like entering the diner previously, that I guess is just Nadine's new theme, is this like fucking rockabilly, I don't know, whatever the fuck you would call it, but this little riff.
Yeah.
And I see you've noted, OMG, the Nadine plotline is real, question mark.
Yeah, oh, we will get to
we'll
that.
Get there. Okay, well, so let's go through some other stuff till we get there then. So we have a Coop and Audrey scene. This is like a lot of this first half of the episode is Coop being like, well, it's time for me to leave Twin Peaks. And as a part of that, Audrey comes in and is like, she says, so that's how it is. You save my life, then you break my heart, as in like, oh, what, you're not going to date me? And he gives a bit of his backstory as why he's like, no, I can't date someone who's, involved in a case, which feels a bit like the show doing a like, no, Audrey, it's not just because of your age, it's because of this other thing. So maybe we could. It's definitely a show being like, wow. So he says that there was a woman that was a witness to a crime, and he and his partner, Wyndham Earl, were supposed to protect her, but he was distracted because he was in love with her, and then she died, and Wyndham Earl lost his mind, and, that's why he can't, he's afraid of hurting people and whatever. And Audrey's like, you just watch out, Dale Cooper. One day I'll be grown up and I'm gonna get you, making out style. I don't know about this. This, as with every time that the like Audrey Coop romance is introduced, I'm like, guys, I really don't know. I don't know. And also, like, this, I know that they're getting at the Wyndham Earl backstory and everything. Like, it can't just be like, hi, you're a teenager and I'm an adult FBI agent. I don't think we should date. I think the being like, no, it's because of my backstory and my trauma feels like it's getting at a like, well, then maybe if he gets over that, they could date. Haha,
Totally. Yeah, well, this is crystallized in 2 lines where Audrey goes, I know, I'm a teenager. And Dale goes, and you were involved in a case I was working on. And just, it feels emphasized in a way that makes it feel like that's the actual reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't feel, great to me. I do otherwise like Dale's bit of like character backstory here, just specifically like the idea that he's not like this because he was hurt, but out of like guilt and not wanting to hurt others. As with most male characters and most things, I can admire them from a distance. In most cases, I'm like, oh, you're doing your little thing. But this is the first time that I've like truly related to Coop as someone who like hurting others is like my most paralyzing fear,
Yeah.
And so that I liked, even though it should not have even come up in this conversation.
Yeah, that is also, I think, broadly how I feel about all this. It's definitely like it is kind of crazy how much seemingly of the like 1991 audience was like, yes, get them together. Yes.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a lot. We don't love it.
I'm continually amazed how bad people are at understanding the themes of their favorite shows and movies.
Yeah, Twin Peaks really is one of those, especially, I think.
Yeah.
So we get all that. We then get a little Bobby scene. He is putting on one of Leo's suits as he's going ready to go meet with Benjamin Horne because he's got a new get-rich-quick scheme. And, by now it's like the fourth or fifth time that he's like, you just wait, Shelley. I'll be taking care of you like you never dreamed. And, Shelley's like, please, can we go on a date? I'll dress up so sexy. And he's like, no, you need to stay home and be the maid to Leo while I go and do my epic plan. I love, just as he like puts on the suit, he's like, it's big, but it is bad.
That's really good. He's so entertained by himself. It's like pretty on the nose, but I do really like that Leo is holding the mirror and Bobby's entire body is in the mirror, like sort of in Leo. He's the mirror image.
That's fun.
Also, I want to ask you about this like Ben and Bobby like little plot. Do we know what Bobby is trying to do here? Because I know that he has like dirt. I know that he has the tape, but like what?
My guess is he sent the tape and then, or like, a copy as he reminds us, and then is going to go and be like, well, now that you know that I've got this tape about you, Mr. Horne, shouldn't you give me $1 million? Is basically what I think his plan is.
It's funny because he's asking for a job. Which, like, why would you want to blackmail someone for a job?
I mean, I guess if he's like, if this is a like, well, maybe I should be getting a steady monthly payment on your salary, or else I'll release the tail or whatever the fuck,
Yeah, totally. He doesn't realize like he is in too deep here. If this happens at all, it's going to backfire disastrously.
For real.
Like Ben has people killed,
Yeah, for real. Yeah, and it really is like, again, like, his plans just have Shelley back where she was. She's still at home taking care of Leo all day. I just put note, all Bobby knows is idiot get rich quick scheme, look down Shelley's shirt, be bisexual and lie.
True, so true.
I also love when he leaves, he's just like, I gotta ramble, which is not what that means, but sounds like it could. So that's fun.
And he also like claps his hands together like astoundingly loudly. It's really jarring. So he's in a different show.
Yeah, for real. He's on the Bobby show 24/7. So next up, Catherine is back. She's just decided, I guess, that she's got her disguise what was the point of the disguise? What did she do with that? I guess she got the title because she was going to buy the land, but then she ended up blackmailing him for it anyway. So who the fuck knows what all that was about? But she's like, okay, I'm done with that. I can just be back in the town normal style now. And so to clear her name, she goes to Harry's office and it's just, yeah, I'm alive, by the way. I was saved by a guardian angel.
But you don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I got saved angel style.
Yeah, I got saved angel style. You bitches can't even spell Prague, So she does recount the like events of the night of the fire broadly truthfully, and then says that she kind of like stumbled out and had like found her way to her old cabin strictly on stumbling, and then stayed there until she ran out of tuna, and now she's come back.
So I want to know, because obviously we know this is not perfectly honest because we know that she's been around most of the time.
Uh-huh.
But The mention of a cabin, like there have been some important cabins and lodges in this show.
Uh-huh.
So I do wonder if like it's somewhat true and she's just exaggerating. I'm not super fresh on what happened with Catherine the night of the fire. Like she was in the building, right? Like briefly she saw Shelley hung up.
Yeah, like she did see Shelley, and I actually think, I'm trying to remember, because she said she freed Shelley. I forget if that actually happened, but I think we just kind of saw her like maybe breaking Shelley free, maybe not, but just kind of was, oh no, I'm in the fire, and then we didn't see what happened from there.
Okay, word.
So yeah, it does feel like some of this could be true, some of it not, unclear. I just made a note that's like, I love, yeah, she's talking about her guardian angel. The music is like doing the like reverent, like Angelo Badalamenti thing of being like, wow, the guardian angel, and it was real.
Special agent.
Exactly. That is the vibe. Okay, this is going to be a very weird thing whenever we get there, but let's see if the image of a guardian angel returns. And when it does,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you, it's not going to be related to this scene in basically any way, but it'll...
Okay, sick. I'm looking forward to it. I have a couple more comments on this scene.
Yeah.
First of all, I don't think I ever realized before, or maybe this was not my opinion until this scene, but Catherine is so hot.
Yeah. You just needed to see her in her, like, in a, like, dykey, outdoorsy outfit and with some dirt on her face.
Dirty, musty. Yeah, her previous fashion style was not so much my speed. I love this getup because it's not even, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Moving on. There's a very cool camera trick in the scene that I actually don't feel like this was the best time to pull it out, but I did think it was beautiful. So this is obviously like a very minimalist, just like shot, reverse shot, one-on-one conversation scene. But what the camera does, so there's a deep focus. So the background moves much faster than the characters because that's how the lens works. And it's like, it's panning, but it's also rotating around the characters in this like, yeah, just very subtle and beautiful thing that feels like apt for, oh my God, a plot is being revealed to do with a guardian angel. But because it's Catherine and this plot line is just like not that serious, it feels like maybe a bit of a waste of this. It's a really elegant bit of camera work that I can't remember having seen in this show before. Yeah, random spot to plop it in.
Yeah, it's really fun. My other note here, because Harry's like, you've been gone for 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I know this happens constantly in this show. We're like, what the fuck? It's only been 3 weeks. Like, this has happened to us basically every time someone mentions how much time it's been. But I'm like,
For
okay,
real.
She escaped from the fire, and like, did she just have her like yellow-faced Tajimura disguise? Like, did she have that pre-prepared somewhere for her to like get into? Because she got that shit in like a day or two. Like,
it's true.
How did she do that? Why did she do that? I still don't, like, at the end of the day, I guess she like realized like maybe that's how she was gonna get the land, and then she was like, oh, I can just blackmail him. That's funnier and better.
That's funnier.
But it really is just kind of a thing that she did, and it's unclear how, why, or what it achieved.
It's true. No, like, because I can't think of a reason that, I don't know, she talked about how she's wanted dead, and I just don't think that's actually at risk of happening. I feel like she's just fucking around.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
I continue to not understand the Catherine Martell Ben Horn plot at fucking all, but I don't care anymore. I'm post comprehension.
I think that's the way to do it, though, for real.
And I'm choosing that I'm gonna also do that with the new criminal plot. By the way, I'm just like, whatever happens, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna look at the pretty camera movements or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Want to take us to Dick Tremaine?
Yeah, take me to Dick. Let's go. We are in the police station.
Sorry, was this like a take me to church?
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, take us away.
Lucy is up on a ladder. She is replacing a fluorescent, like, sort of light panel and just doing such a bad job, but it's okay. It's okay, Lucy. Dick Tremaine walks in and tries to talk about like how, oh, I'm gonna be such a good dad. I'm gonna really be the dad who stepped up. And then he steps up on the step ladder. Whoa. It's so funny though. Like he climbs the ladder to speak to her. And while he's talking about how he's just enrolled in a like helping hands program, whatever that is, Lucy is like fumbling with the light and she's about to fall off and he's just looking in the other direction. And this is such a good character. What a poser. Andy overhears and he walks in and I expected there to be some, secondary big confrontation like Andy has been sort of teetering on the edge of for a while. But no, instead he also climbs the ladder, which is so funny. And he basically says like, look, I think we should all be friends here. See, I think until the baby is born, we should all get along. And then he walks away and he tells Hawk like, did I go too far? It's
a lot. I love the like when Dick walks in, he's like, I think we should talk about our bambino. Lisa's just like, our bambino?
What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
I also love that he's like, I, Dick Tremaine, am a terrible crashing bore. He's just like, yeah, I need to be a dad because I'm so boring. Is like, and like when last episode or like the last time we talked about this, he was like trying to get her to abort the baby. He's like, I do not want that baby. And now he's like, no, actually I do. There needs to be, me and Andy need to have a dad contest. And I guess that means that I want the baby. And it's because I'm too boring without one.
That's so funny, dude. I like completely didn't even catch that. There's like a slightly confusing line in this about like, I don't know, when it's just the two of them talking. Lucy says, are you the same Dick Tremaine from the department store?
I think this is her thing being like, when he's like, oh, I'm in the Happy Helping Hand program to some adorable homeless waif. And he's, she's like, who are you? And what did you do with the real Dick Tremaine who would never help a homeless waif,
A homeless waif is just fucking nuts. Okay, cool. Well, that clears it up for me.
I love when Andy's giving his speech. It's like Lucy is leaning in to kiss him. Like, but it's like she's truly just like, wow, Andy, it's so hot when you are saying bullshit. Basically, it's so funny.
But it's not bullshit. He's being super mature. I really like it. And he talks to Hawk about how he wants to be the kind of man that Lucy likes, which is like masculine and confident. And then he almost starts crying. But, growth.
Yeah, I love when he like Hawk is like, come on, go Andy. And then he kind of like gives a like go get him tiger smile to Andy as he's walking up, which is really funny. Like, we talked about how you said earlier, like you liked Andy better when he was kind of, first introduced as like, very emotional, like grounded in the kind of real tragedy of it, even if in kind of a campy way. And he was a little bit has been flanderized as dumb guy. I think the like, do you think I went too far? I think for me is a little bit flanderized. I like the scene. I think it's, I don't know. I do like the scene though. I think it was just like, do you think I went too far? I'm like, come on, buddy. But I don't know.
No, that's fair,
Andy.
That's fair.
So other things happening in the police station. We dip in on, and I think I'll like combine a couple scenes here because there's introducing the other plot going on here. So we have like a big farewell as Coop is like, all right, everyone, time to leave, time to go work at the FBI. He has like a little personal goodbye with everyone. Harry gives him a green butt skunk, which I guess
green butt skunk.
Which is
they
like,
put so much emphasis on it.
Yeah, it's really good. I guess it's a bug that is really good at luring fish. For when he goes fishing, he gives him a Bookhouse Boys badge, which I didn't realize they had. I didn't know the secret society had badges, and also that they're, I think, vaguely fascistic.
Honestly, I think it's just that tree is like a symbol of the Pacific Northwest in general.
Yeah.
But like, including the fascists.
I think this is also just the like, I'm still on my like, hey guys, I think you like accidentally invented like the citizens militia, like KKK spectrum from First Principles, with their like,
I think you're right.
Extra
and
legal...
it really undercuts the wholesomeness, I think.
Yeah. But they have a cute little moment with the skunk, the green butt skunk. He says goodbye to Hawk, which the show again gives him a like, may the wind be always at your back, which Again, does feel very TV show writers going, all right, yeah, he'll have something indigenous to say.
Yeah.
He gives everyone a little farewell, but oh my God, he's interrupted by the RCMP officer Preston King and Special Agent Roger Hardy, who tell him that he's suspended from the FBI. Bum, 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 bum. Takes him into his office, says there's allegations against his methods in Canada. We cut away, but I'll just like jump to the next scene where they're talking about this. So basically, they're kind of doing the thing that I feel like happens in like Star Trek or like X-Files or whatever, where like when you have a show where people have been up to bullshit every episode, you can have an episode where someone comes in and is like, hey, here's all that bullshit you've been doing every episode, you know?
Yeah, it's true. The stuff that I just assumed they were going to get away with.
Yeah, so basically saying, you know, you crossed the border to rescue Audrey. This RCMP guy says he's been setting up a sting there, but they got fucked up. And now the cocaine is missing. They're bringing in the DEA. They're saying, Coop, did you steal that cocaine? How these people died? Did you kill them? You're in trouble. So, you know, I'll just say right now, we learn later in the episode, the RCMP walks out and is, you know, partnered with Jean Renault. So it's like, this is we are catching him using the system. On the one hand, I'm like, yeah, man, I think some of that shit you shouldn't have done. But also like, this procedure is tying his hands when he was just trying to save a life.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, just like, I think this is definitely like a type of episode that you can do when you're this like deep in a TV show of just like having the like internal affairs, whatever, come in and be like, hey, how have you've been doing a lot of shit in episodes of television. But so yeah, they call in Harry and they're like, Harry, do you want to rat on Dale? And Harry says no. He also has a little moment where they're like, you can sit down. He's like, no, I'll prefer to stand, which I just wrote down. Wow, Harry Dubois moment.
That's true.
So yeah, I don't know what you think of these. I'm think like this was another one where the music kind of floating throughout it was really good. Something about like the dialogue and the way it kind of moves through all this and the pacing, it felt kind of slow. And I think I'd certainly have my complaints about kind of just, you know, the idea of like, oh my God, it's so fucked up when the FBI are held to account. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I am very much with you. You know, the one thing I will say is the actor who plays Roger Hardy, Clarence Williams III, is just giving a like really good performance. I don't know how much we see from this character. It's giving like a timeless legal drama. I don't know. I'm getting a little, I do not love that police oversight is the bad guy, even if it is justified later.
Yeah.
But, you know, that is the show, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think really like I was thinking when it hit me, there was something about like when they bring in Harry and have like the big scene with him. I think this was another moment where I'm like, I feel like there's something missing in just the scene to scene and like moment to moment pacing.
Sure.
This was like my takeaway the first time I watched it. And let's like keep checking in on this, because there are still moments that are very like, you know, there are moments of bizarreness and moments of like, you know, you pointed out that like the circular camera, like it's not like the, you know, cinematography and pacing just like goes completely normie.
Yeah.
And again, I really don't want to be placeboing myself too much, you know?
To be honest, with all that I've heard, I expected it to be a much more stark difference.
Yeah, I think that is good to hear. And I'm curious to see how we keep, like, I think that is the big thing that I will be keeping my evaluative eye on as we move through is like, yeah, because I think the big thing that I remembered was there's like a certain pacing to a like network television scene where like when one character delivers a line of dialogue in a certain tone and cadence, you're like, oh, I can tell what the next person is going to say and like how many lines they're going to say. And like, you can know like this scene is going to be this many pages long and it's going to da-da-da. And Twin Peaks has always been doing that. But I think it would also just throw in just shit that was just like, oh, what the fuck, you know? This is here now.
Sure.
And I feel like my big memory of this back half of season 2 was like more moments of like, yeah, I know how this scene is going, and less like, hey, what? And I don't know, let's keep an eye on that. Because I think even just so far, like I think I could be guilty of assuming that it'll be like that and then not paying attention to things in a way that I would if I knew that it was more David Lynch involved, and then like notice stuff. Like you even like you're saying about that like circular camera stuff is the kind of thing that I don't want to just close my eyes to. Want to do Tales from the Long?
Oh, let's do Tales from Luck. Who the hell is not in this episode, though?
Ooh, James Hurley.
Oh, James. Yeah, right. Oh, that's a great candidate because there's even a conversation in the second scene at the wake about like James is gone, but he'll be back.
Yeah, and the last we saw him, he was just like, fuck, Donna, and just kind of rode off on his motorcycle out. So yeah, what do you think? What do you think James is up to?
Sadie, how caught up are you on Stranger Things?
I think I only saw the first 2 seasons, maybe 3. I definitely only liked the first, but is he in Stranger Things?
Okay, so first of all, they are set at similar times. I'm gonna look on a map really quick. They are not especially close to each other. But here's the thing. There's an episode of Stranger Things that is like not exactly a bottle episode, but it is just the plot to this is completely unrelated from the rest of the show episode, where Millie Bobby Brown's character just like goes off and joins some punks who give her confidence or whatever because they like had a 10 episode order, you know?
Oh, I remember this. Is it like the other punks who, and one of them had another 11 power of like, wait, am I remembering correctly that her power was to like do like what the Roadrunner does to Wile E. Coyote? Of like making it seem like okay, here's my memory. Okay, hold on. Here's my memory. Is that she can like project vision hallucinations into your mind, and that they're running away from cops and the cops are like driving after them, and then they like go into a tunnel and then projects into the cops' vision that the tunnel is blocked by a wall. And so the cops like swerve and crash, like as would happen to Wile E. Coyote. This is my memory. I don't know if this is true at all.
Dude, I have no idea where you're getting that from.
Okay, well.
Okay, I haven't seen the show in a few years, but my memory is that she has telekinesis. Like straightforward telekinesis.
Well, who knows? Maybe this one's just from the mind of yours truly. But so
Sadie original.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Anyway, so I think he could run off and join some sort of ragtag team of people, maybe motorcycle related, and maybe one of them has a special power or ability or object that encourages him to come back.
Is this actor in Stranger Things? I don't think he is. Okay, no, you're just like fine. Yeah, he's just in Stranger Things.
They're both set during the Reagan administration in like the northern United States, and both feature a punky little sad little freak who runs away for a second, then comes back, presumably.
So James has run off on a motorcycle and joined a ragtag group, and one of them has telekinesis.
Yeah, epic. Okay, not to overstuff this with ideas or anything, but I'm thinking that maybe just James leaving then returning is not it. I'm thinking maybe we have a Tajimura type situation on our hands.
Oh no.
Where James in fact returns as as female David Duchovny. I'm gonna need to keep making predictions about that because I need to know how it comes up. I'm sad to have been wrong last episode. I think there needs to be some sort of disguise.
Yes. Yeah, he comes back in disguise as a woman. And to illustrate that, they have David Duchovny play him in disguise because they were just like, David Duchovny, you're so much, you're so ready to be a trans woman. All right.
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm not sure how the telekinesis fits in. Maybe it gives James the confidence that like, oh, we actually can change the world and affect destiny. Maybe there's some sort of weird dream that makes James be a woman for a second. And then
I saw the TV glow.
Yeah, James saw the TV glow. And more coherent than ever, this one.
So
great work, team.
Yay. Okay.
We're going to take a quick break. We will be right back with the second half of this episode.
Woohoo! Hello, it's Sadie. You know what time it is. Time to tell you to go to tstv.show and give us $3. Get on the Patreon. You get every episode 2 weeks early. That's so many weeks. You get delicious bonus episodes. TSTV DVD, we watch movies. When this is out, the most recent one is going to be Vertigo, Alfred Hitchcock film that, honestly, the more I think about it, is kind of the key to an astonishing amount of David Lynch. I think genuinely makes me understand a lot of Twin Peaks and other David Lynch movies a lot more, having seen Vertigo. And next week, the week after this episode is out, we are going to be putting out Mulholland Drive, a movie that it's got toxic Yuri. We reference it so many times because it has a lot to do with Twin Peaks. In fact, fun fact, Mulholland Drive was originally going to be like a spin-off about Audrey, which is kind of crazy to think about because if you watch the movie, it's like not particularly about that. But I don't know, the idea was going to be Audrey goes off and does Mulholland Drive. It was going to be a TV show, and then they ended up just turning it into a movie after shooting the pilot for it, and nobody wanted to turn it into a TV show. So that's a fun fact about Mulholland Drive. If you want to hear a lot more about it, you simply have to give us $3 at tstv.show. I hope you will. Bye. Enjoy the episode.
Well logged, my friend.
Oh, well logged indeed. Okay. Bobby's doing his fucking dipshit little scheme, which basically is just waiting outside Ben's office and being like, he'll have to talk to me one of these days.
He's so useless.
It's so funny. Audrey comes by and is like, hey, nice suit, fucking dumbass. And then it's like, hey,
dipshit.
Yeah, it's like, well, yeah, I gotta know who to talk to. Lets him in. He gets in, and basically instantaneously Ben throws him out. Like literally has guys come in and carry him out. Audrey stops them from literally throwing him, and he's like, oh man, you saved my butt twice. Can I do anything for you? She goes, how about you get me ice cream? He says, sure, cup or cone? She says, cone. I like to lick.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Ooh.
So, okay, one, I'm obsessed that he like copied the tape and then sent it in the mail to him. He's like, he was gonna go in and be like, by the way, I'm here about what you got in the mail, so I can blackmail you about it. I love when you mentioned earlier about the school, there was a good point where like Audrey's like, shouldn't you be in school? He's like, shouldn't you? And it really is like, yeah, I see you wrote down like finally someone saying it. It really is. We're just doing Riverdale, you know? I mean, Riverdale's doing Twin Peaks, obviously.
This is what I'm hearing this week. I'm considering checking out Riverdale.
God, what if we do a like little
what if our second season?
But I feel like we could do like watch a season of Riverdale and talk about it in one bonus episode or something.
That's kind of cute.
Yeah, it is very funny just to have someone actually address that. I love like as Bobby's waiting, and even like when Audrey like hands him a little basket for him, like says wait here, like he can never stand still normal style ever. As he's counting to 10, he's like tossing the basket around and stuff.
Yeah.
Again, this music floating through it, that's kind of fun. Now, so in terms of them going off to presumably fucking get his dick sucked, I think there's a part of me that is into these two having more screen time together. You know, Audrey has been kind of cordoned off in her own section of the plot. Like she doesn't really have connections to many of the other characters, and her and Bobby are both little shitheads in a way that I think they could get up to schemes together in a way that is appealing to me.
Oh, Dan, that's pretty true, actually.
Yeah, I
just don't like the sexual aspect of it, to be honest.
I think that's the thing. I think it does feel also kind of flanderized of like, yeah, I'm sexy Audrey Horne. I love to lick. It just kind of like, okay, guys, we get it, you know?
Yeah.
But I will say, if this means that we get plot lines that's just like Audrey and Bobby coming up with the dumbest scheme in the world together and trying to execute it, that would be fun. I would enjoy seeing that.
It's true. That would be a lot of fun.
Well, I see you've claimed the next scene because we have a very special one.
Oh my God. Holy shit. I just like completely lost my mind laughing. Oh, buddy. Okay. Like I said, I've always wanted more high school shenanigans. I feel like there are so many like in American media, like classic, like tropey events that you can build funny events around, you know, like the prom or whatever. This is the cheerleading squad tryouts, and Nadine is here. Yeah, baby. She does fuck if I know what it's called, like 6 backflips or whatever.
Yeah.
Flawlessly, and definitely not with a body double. And then we get a slow motion shot of her grabbing someone's shirt from behind and saying,
so funny.
I'm gonna throw you.
So
and then
good.
He says like, oh yeah.
And then she throws him.
She throws him like 60 feet.
It's so funny.
She throws him so far. He crashes into the volleyball like net that's next door, I guess. And then the scene basically ends. I think people maybe clap for her.
Yeah, I think
holy
I put down the
shit.
SFX because there's a real like everyone going, yay, wow, congratulations at how good she did. That's so funny.
Oh, I'm so delighted by that.
I think this is definitely the highlight for me. I think it's unclear to me if it's their sports team or the name of the cheerleading squad that's called the Steeplejacks, which is so funny, as in like, you know, guys who climb a building to do repairs or whatever. I love there's like the crazy effect of the throw where she's like running up. There's the very like 80-yard dialogue.
Yeah, it was definitely 80-yard. It all seemed like a little bit of a like, oh shit, we need a shot of her grabbing him. Like they only realized this in post because the shot is in super slow motion and it actually reverses and then goes back forward a couple times.
Yes, it's like the fucking like little Instagram effect. It's so funny.
Yeah, it's genuinely like avant-garde.
And I was just like, wow, Nadine, spiritual creature of the Black Lodge, confirmed. She's moving backwards. But yeah, and like the shot of the guy flying, it's just like, yeah, it's really, this is a real, like they wrote into the script that Nadine throws him 60 feet and they're like, how do we film that on our weekly TV show episode budget, you know?
It's true, but he's fucking soaring. Like he's way the hell up there. They could have thrown him much less far, but they went for broke. I like genuinely love it so much.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yay!
Woo!
Next up, we have Shelley and Leo at, I wanted to say their house, but fuck that, it's Shelley's house.
Yeah.
She is brushing Leo's teeth, gets a call from Bobby and says to herself, I'm not going to pick up. Because we inferred that it has been like 12 hours since he left the house or something. And she has just been here without any support.
As he's clearly been off with Audrey.
Oh my god, definitely. I honestly forgot there was even like an adultery component of that.
Yeah.
Bobby says like some bullshit like we're in the money now, sister, you know, like that so kind of whatever. Specifics don't matter. She is maybe happy but does not seem entirely trusting, and then Leo moves. He like wheels forward and we get the shot is great. It's shot from below. And we see Shelley through the spokes of the wheelchair.
Oh, that is really
as it
fun.
Slowly advances. I mean, that's just a great choice.
I think I do like it. It is really funny how many times they have hit the, oh my god, and he moved. This is like our third or fourth time of it, you know? My note was just, he keeps moving, girl. Like, they're really milking the oh my god and what if he moved so much. It's so funny.
No, you're so right. I think they did it from like the episode right after it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
They keep hitting it,
and like every time he's moving very slightly more, but like very slightly more.
It honestly feels also just like a bring it up so the audience remembers that this is a Sword of Damocles, you know?
What does that mean?
Sword of Damocles, this is a myth about a king, Damocles, Greek king, who had a sword. Oh no, he was a courtier. According to the story, Damocles was flattering his king. The king offered to switch places with him for one day. He accepted the king's proposal and, you know, that he would sit on the throne. But the king, who had made many enemies, arranged that a sword should hang above the throne, held by a single hair of horse's tail to evoke the sense of what it is like to be king. Though having much fortune, you all are so anxious because the sword could fall on you at any moment. So kind of a like, uh-oh, that could fall and pierce you at any moment.
Oh, I like this. I just know some TV bullshit is coming in like 1 to 12 episodes because, okay, like no one in Leo's position is going to go from like able to blink or say new shoes to like can get up and try to strangle you. There is no way that this is actually revealed in any way that is both like threatening and makes any amount of sense. And I was expecting him to like spring out of the wheelchair in this episode, and I'm glad he didn't. But we'll see.
He's gonna get struck with lightning like Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Not really Frank's my Steins.
We're really having fun with this one. Anyway, is it time to solve the mystery of MT Wentz?
Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, this is so dumb. Norma's reading, this is in the Double R Diner. She's reading a bad review for her restaurant. her mom is there and says something like, I'm MT Wentz.
Oh, no, it's even better. It's MT Wentz, c'est moi.
That's so good. It feels like a bit of a stock joke that like a character is referred to by initials, so you assume it's a man, but then it turns out it's actually a woman. That always works for me. I think it's really fun. So obviously Norma is like super wounded that her mom would write her.
They bring MT Wentz and says, I can't review this restaurant. It's my daughter. It's the old riddle.
The old riddle. That's funny. Yeah, so they get into an argument about like, how could you do this to me, your daughter? How could you pan my restaurant? And she's just like, I have professional standards. I can't show any favor. To which Norma responds, what about the standards of common decency and kindness? Which to me feels like a mirror of Dale's conflict with the FBI. Like FBI is the professional standards. Dale is the, for the sake of the show, doing the right thing, Norma is furious and wounded and asks her mother to leave and like says, I never want to see you again. Something like that. This is a small enough plot that I'm not surprised that it doesn't make me sadder, but it feels like her reaction is pretty strong and it did not make me feel all that much.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still fun that MT Wentz is a lady.
It is fun. I was thinking about this one and I was writing like, compare this to the scene of Garland Briggs like telling Bobby about his dream. I think that there's like when the show is being just goofy, I think it can do that without David Lynch. I think the actors can carry that. There's like a lot of potential just in the characters to do that. I think there's something about like it hitting real pathos and emotion that feels a bit missing here. And that I think is like part of the David Lynch touch, of really getting that like running through stuff. And it's not that this is a cynical scene, like it is getting at the emotion. Again, who knows? You could have David Lynch be like involved in this episode and, he still wasn't directing most of them, and it still wouldn't come off the way that I would imagine it, And I'm starting to like map out the points at where I think the show is different without David Lynch. And I think this is one is like the way that this moment between these characters feels more just like, okay, that's the reveal. We did it. Here's how she feels moving on, as opposed to like really being able to hit you with the emotion in a really like, bam, you know what I mean?
It does feel like a missed opportunity because like, okay, this is a parent betraying a child. Where have we seen that before? God, maybe we could have drawn some parallels.
For real. Yeah. It is fun for MT Wentz to be the mom. I had completely forgotten that was where this was going. And like, this was a bit foreshadowed. She was complaining about the eggs last episode. There doesn't have the emotional heft that I would quite want it to. Speaking of this family, though, not all is well between them. Because we then see that Hank and Ernie, who is so-called MT Wentz's husband that we met recently, said they were going off on a hunting trip, but they went to One-Eyed Jack's to carouse and, in the words of the wiki summary, horse around. Hank is really like, come on, Ernie the professor, steal your wife's money, use your computer skills, do hacking. Come on, do it. And Ernie's like, no, I don't want to. And he's like, come on. And then Jean comes in and is like, now listen, I will need this money if you can do it. And he's so like wowed by Jean generally, that he's like, oh yeah, I'm hardwired into the drug industry. I can definitely do that. At which point, the Mountie enters. Oh mon Dieu.
Yes. And it's him because of his insane mustache.
Yes, exactly. And he has a briefcase full of cocaine. So my understanding is that it's like, okay, as a reward, you can now have all this cocaine and you can be our new distributor, which I feel like the reward for doing cybercrime should not be to be given a second job.
Why do you say cybercrime?
Because they're saying he's going to do computer shit to get her money. I think like he's handling her investments. And like there's a moment where Hank says like, oh, she won't even, you're the computer whiz, old buddy. Who said anything about stealing? Hit the keyboard, she won't even see a ripple in the pond. I guess that's why he's the professor, is that he's somehow going to either take money from her account without her noticing, or do some kind of like what they were doing in Office Space of like siphoning the money without it being noticeable in some capacity. Not very clear, but
yeah,
cybercrime.
Okay. CyberCrime.
Yeah, this is another one where we have the music kind of floating through it all in a way that I think is really fun. Oh, I also love when Jean walks in. Okay, wait, sorry, I didn't finish. So he has all this cocaine, which I feel, again, you should just be given money instead of, okay, for doing our job, you can now also be our drug distributor. That's like...
That's crazy.
But, and then, also this is a real, like, oh, he's being brought back to his old ways because, he's like, oh, no, I don't want to gamble. And Jean's like, oh, we all gamble here. We must. So anyway, and then, he tells the Mountie to, one of the packages of the cocaine should be placed in Coop's car to frame him. He says, I want him crucified. So I think it's so funny that Hank says, Ernie, meet Jean Renault. Met him in the woods one night when he stuck a gun in my ear. Lucky for me, I had my state prosecutor's badge with me. Don't leave home without it. And then he just says, Jean, this is the professor, blah, blah, blah. I think it's really funny, and I do think it falls in the I like it category of, as far as like the show addressing the fact that the last time we saw him was getting caught and thinking he was the district attorney and now he's doing schemes with him. There's no attempt to actually explain how they got to being a business partners relationship. You know what I mean?
I know,
it's
right?
So funny.
He almost shot me, and now we're buddies. Me and him. Yeah. Okay. Part of the thing here is I didn't understand what was happening because the music is like objectively too loud in this scene, and Jean Renault's accent is distracting because it's not like a super convincing Quebecois accent.
Honestly, though, I think he does the best job of the three brothers, to be real.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's just, for me, the really distinctive thing with the Quebec accent is that the emphasis is in the right place. I don't feel like he's super consistent with that. But I mean, yeah, this is my super petty complaint. I think I'm finding things to complain about because I kind of don't care about this plot line as of now.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll end up super important. I am intrigued by Ernie's character. I will say that. I like the idea that he is a guy who's like worked for the big banks and companies and such doing fraud.
I think I also don't really care, but I am having fun. I think is how I feel.
My one question about the scene is who the fuck runs One Eye Jacks now? Because like everyone's dead.
I mean, I guess it's Jean, right? I guess he just took it over.
Oh, okay, yes, because he had that deal with Ben.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just like, well, I killed everyone else. It's mine now. I can take the money. It's business,
yeah, I
baby.
guess I can see that. That's business, baby.
I see in your notes, like I was scared this would be pro Mountie. Thank God that it isn't. It is also very funny again in the ongoing racist against Quebecois of the show of just like, yes, that's right. And even their mounted police can be bought like a deck of cards, But yeah, fuck the RCMP. So
fuck the RCMP, one of the worst police forces in the world.
I feel like honestly, as far as like the laundering of Canada's reputation, I think that the idea that like the Mounties are like, haha, it's the Mounties. Aw. They're so charming is like, I think how a lot of Americans would think of the Mounties as just like a kind of quaint piece of Canadiana, but like, let me say,
riders,
for anyone who doesn't know, those guys are like evil, like some of the most like brutal
agents of colonization.
Yeah, like the genuinely unparalleled violence. Yeah, fuck them.
They kill people with impunity, and the whole cutesy, like, yeah, the reason I was worried about this is because when the Mountie shows up, he's in the like classic red outfit, wide brimmed hat.
Yeah.
That people are like charmed by, but fuck you, little man.
Yeah.
And fuck your little mustache.
Yeah, and fuck your mother. Anyway, okay, from there we go. Harry is asleep. He sees a shadow outside his window and immediately grabs his gun, which he just has like hanging by the bed next to him, which is kind of insane. But it's Josie. She is sobbing. She is dirty. She's not having a good time. And he, of course, instantly lies on top of her and kisses her a bunch. Not great.
Not great. Yeah. She's badly injured, I would say, is the feeling I got. And he just like climbs on top of her and starts making it on with her like on the floor. And she does not seem interested in this. And he doesn't seem interested in like how she's doing. Honestly, sort of out of nowhere for me, like just with I guess I think of Harry as like at least 5% a gentleman. And here he's, really gross and threatening.
I know. And it's like, I think we're supposed to read it as like, oh my God, he's so happy she's back. Wow. But it's like, I think another moment where the show is kind of unable and incurious and like uninterested in imagining like what it is like to be Josie. This is just like a short, like 15-second scene, but it's very like, oh, Josie's here. He must be so happy he has to kiss her a lot. It doesn't feel like this. It is asking itself, if I'm Josie and I'm coming in and I've just been through some shit, do I want this man on top of me, smothering me with kisses immediately, you know?
Yeah, fuck, poor Josie. I'm glad she's back because I like her character and I want her to have a chance to be fleshed out, but not like this.
Yeah, no comment. I'm just gonna say there's just another moment of Sadie who I've been like, I don't know if we've talked about it, but I've been like finishing an undergrad that I started years ago and like dropped out and have been going back part-time to finish it, and hence me bringing up Roland Barthes earlier. But there was like something that I was reading for that. There was Anne Enlin Cheng kind of theory of ornamentalism, which is talking about like the way Asian women are represented in like photography, especially as like ornamental and synonymous with the kind of like the idea of like pottery, you know, as like beautiful and fragile and breakable and objectified and everything. I'm just going to shout that out as a, I think, like big lens on reading Josie in this show.
Oh my God, yeah.
There's like, honestly, I think we keep talking around it because it keeps happening the ways the show is less interested in Josie. I think there's a lot of readings both about like representation of like Asian women in TV specifically or in TV broadly and of Josie specifically. I honestly am not as equipped to like speak to a lot of that specific stuff, but it keeps not being great. We could just say unscholarlyly,
sure.
It keeps sucking.
Yeah.
Anyway, final scene. Coop and Briggs are going fishing. I love it starts here with Coop is like, I've been thinking about Bob and if he really exists. And I'm like, bro, didn't you see that shit? It's very funny.
Yeah. I feel like that question is almost more like a philosophical one, right? We were talking about like how Bob is like an externalizing of the evil. And it feels like their question is basically like, are humans capable of this violence on their own? Which is why it still works for me, despite the fact that we obviously know that Bob exists.
Yeah, I agree. Again, I just had a note here of like the music floating through it all. It's fun. I like it a lot. It is like reusing a lot of the same track, but I still like it throughout each of them. So we have a big moment here where Briggs, in response to Dale's musing, says, you know, you, sir, are blessed with certain gifts, like say it might be your destiny to face evil. In this respect, you are not alone. Have you ever heard of the White Lodge? Whoa, Lodge mentioned.
Yeah, holy shit.
Do you have anything to say about Lodge mentioned? Because we've been talking around the fact that like I think it was episode 1, you were like, yeah, they're in the lodge. And I was like, okay, wait, this show's going to start talking about lodges at one point, and we can't just say that we can't describe one of the characters' houses as the lodge, or things will get really confusing eventually.
You're so right.
I think I had probably said, I think I said the words Black Lodge this episode also, just because it's one of those things that is like, you know, maybe it's a spoiler to say that, but it's one of the words about the show. But yeah, I see, like, what did you think about hearing about the White Lodge?
So here's where I'm at with lodges. There are a lot of cabins. I don't necessarily know what a lodge is. Like, I don't think we have that word in French, so places aren't really named that here, right? So, like, I'm picturing essentially a log cabin.
Yeah. I think also one of the big things that it is doing here is that lodge is also used to refer to, like, indigenous architecture. Like, you know, people will talk about a sweat lodge, but also kind of like a longhouse and stuff. I think that like the word lodge is often used in that context as well.
Interesting.
I think that is what's happening there in the spiritual sense, where it's kind of getting at like this sense of a spiritual place and kind of imbuing it with this arguably questionable sense of like indigenous spirituality, I think, but it is also just like there are a lot of cabins and etc. throughout it. I think that is part of why it's chosen there, but yeah.
Okay, so I've been assuming this whole time that the red room in Dale Cooper's dream is the Black Lodge. I feel pretty confident in that. I feel like that's how people talk about it. That's one of those things that you can absorb through osmosis. I'll be real embarrassed if I'm wrong in like 10 episodes. The White Lodge, I assume, is some sort of a counterpart for like benevolent spirits. I think that would be pretty cool. Or at least like neutral spirits. I still don't know what either of them are, how you go there, why you go there. I know that the giant is a man who dresses in all white, so I could see that being related.
True. Yes.
I am real fucking curious to know what Garland Briggs knows, because I've said this before, he's such an interesting guy.
Yeah, it is really funny for him to just be like, and again, even I think it's especially so with us, even, yeah, just through, like, people say Black Lodge in connection to Twin Peaks all the time. And I think because of that, it's kind of, there is a degree of kind of like sitting up in your chair and being like, oh, okay, I know that that's a thing that's important. Tell me more.
Yeah, like when they say the word dream.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, Dale Cooper's like, this, I think the scene is very funny for how much it's Garland Briggs is like, the White Lodge, let me tell you some of the important lore. And Dale's like, yeah, one moment, I gotta piss. Now don't become a floating head in space before I get back. And then walks away.
Okay, so he says, Major, I'm going to take a moment here and feel the call of nature. There's nothing quite like urinating out in the open air. And then he starts walking and he says, I look forward to hearing more about this White Lodge when I return my journey.
When I Twin Peaks the return.
Yeah. Okay, but the whole time, the music is like super ominous and just swelling up. And it's like, oh no, something's going to happen to his pee. And then it does.
Oh yeah, he pisses and there's no piss Foley, which is how I know that this show is made by cowards. We get the same like footage of the owl that we've seen. I love how every time they shoot an owl, it's clearly like 1992 stock footage owl .mp4. Like it's of an entirely different quality than like the footage that they are filming, you know?
It's true. It's clearly shot on like tape or something.
Yeah, it's really good. And then, oh my God, he runs back. There's a big flash of light. And we see from Garland's perspective, there's like a weird figure standing, like cresting the hill, silhouetted by the light. Dale runs up and, oh my God, the campsite is empty. And he looks up and sees flashed by the light. And then he's gone. He's been teleported into space to become a floating head in space. Fuck!
No. This is exactly what I didn't want.
I know! Fuck! Oh, man.
This is some bullshit. I hate when it's floating head time. That's not true. I'm actually really looking forward to it. But I hope we get a little more time of him down on Earth.
Yeah. What do you think either of this or what do you think will happen about this?
I think he's missing and they're going to find him in like a few episodes and he will be changed in some way.
I love it. Well, that's the episode.
That's the episode, baby. Record time here, I think.
I know. Look at us go.
We're unstoppable.
We've become so lithe and lean.
Yeah. Sadie, we've been talking about dreams a little bit over the past couple weeks. We haven't recorded in a while, and I have a couple ready for you in Lily's Nightmare Corner.
Very excited to hear.
Do you have any before I go?
I have one that is mostly silly and small. I started playing Balatro. I'm like a year and a half late to Balatro because I just got it on my phone. And also, I'm not going to lie, I am going to have to, I got Balatro and I think there will be an additional cost where I'm going to have to find one of those apps that like says you can't open an app if you've used it for more than like an hour a day, you know?
Dude, definitely. Yeah, it is easy to, holy shit. Yeah, I feel you.
So on my like first or second day of having Balatro on my phone and being able to play it anytime I wanted, I had a Balatro dream, which was that Balatro hands, making a good Balatro hand. This is a game in which you're trying to assemble poker hands, basically, was like a symbol for effective emotional communication. And I was like playing Balatro, but I wasn't able to put a good hand together. And I knew that this was a metaphor for how I hadn't been able to like sit down and talk through some big emotions in my life. That was the dream, was like that Balatro was telling me that I needed to get more in touch with my emotions because I couldn't put a good hand together.
Sadie, that's really cool. I really like that. Dreams are so cool.
Yeah. All right. What are yours?
First, I'll do the sillier one first. So the dream is an episode of The Simpsons.
Ooh.
And we are watching it together on the astral plane. Like neither my nor your body is present, but like I was having thoughts. Whoa. And then you were
like you and me.
Yeah, the two of us.
Whoa, fuck yeah.
It was an episode where essentially Homer had to be Dale Cooper. He had to,
oh my God,
about like something he knew was going to happen. Someone was going to hijack and crash a plane in Simpsons universe, and he needed to stop it.
Homer Simpson, Dale Cooper was trying to stop 9/11?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm saying this like it's not weird. I guess it kind of is.
I love that.
So he's doing a really bad job,
Wow.
which feels, relevant. But here's the really great part, okay? In the middle of this, he says to himself, like, I could really use some new shoes. And he goes to the shoe store. And first of all, this is just like a classic Twin Peaks, like, we need to delay the action. And this very striking looking shoe clerk is in the scene. And I make a little joke to you, like, imagine if that's the most important guy in the show. And you're like, oh yeah, the next 2 seasons are about him.
That's so funny. I mean, that's kind of what happened in Twin Peaks, because wasn't the one-armed man selling shoes?
Dude. Yeah. That's crazy. I completely forgot about that.
Wow. That is a great dream. I really like that.
Yeah. Okay. That's my silly one. That was like, wow, Twin Peaks is like that. This next one is genuinely one of the most touching dreams I've ever had. I absolutely loved it. Sadie, as you know, I recently missed out on a chance to go to a cottage with you and some of our other friends.
Yeah.
My dream was that myself and Vic were packing up at a cottage. We had been partying for days with lots of people. It's summer in like east coast of Canada, Maritimes, Gaspé area. The two of us are driving home right along the water. It's a place that I, have a long history with.
Wait, sorry, it was just you and Vic, or I was there also?
In this case, you were not in this dream. It was just the two of us. Everyone else who was at the cottage were strangers. And also like 19, but that's beside the point. We're driving through, beautiful forested waterside in eastern Quebec. And as we're going around a bend, I see this enormous seal, like a really huge seal, sort of swimming, bobbing its way to shore very quickly. We park right after, turning this bend, and the seal has reached the shore. Vic, we both get out of the car. We're going to the tourist center to get directions, and the seal has taken the shape of a human woman.
Whoa, Selkie dream.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Selkie is from the Northern Isles of Orkney and Shetland, or Celtic Norse mythology of a seal that can like take off its coat and become a woman, basically.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So this seal, who is now manifesting as a woman, she is tall, she's about 50 years old, and she can't speak. She's very excited to be here, but she doesn't really know how to like be a person. Vic goes in, and God, this was crazy. Me and the seal dance. We have a little waltz on the lawn, just looking at each other. She's just totally beaming, the seal. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, wow, I'm so glad I can make her feel welcome in the human world, That's
beautiful.
Yeah.
That is a like truly beautiful David Lynch ass dream.
I thought so too. And I didn't witness this human transform from a seal, but I just knew, And honestly, the human woman had a minivan, like she had a car, which I don't know how that would happen. Plot hole. But when dreams are happening, I tend to think about them and process them as if they were happening in real life. It's not just a series of images, like I'm thinking my usual thoughts. And in this one, I'm thinking like, wow, so many amazing things have happened in my life, and I never remember any of them. It's really a shame. I should really write this one down.
Aww.
And then I woke up and I wrote it down.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
It stuck with me for hours. I'm happy even thinking about it,
I love talking about our dreams on this podcast. Yeah. It's so much fun.
Well, honestly, doing the podcast has made my dreams more interesting. I used to be really
I think same.
Nightmare prone.
Oh,
it's cool. I mean, honestly, even the bad dreams have gotten more interesting since watching Twin Peaks. Yeah. If ever, by the way, listeners, this is so deep into the podcast to say this, if you have any Twin Peaks related dreams you want to send us,
fuck yeah,
we have contact information all over the place. So
yeah, that would be a great bonus episode of What Boys, just going through all the Twin Peaks dreams.
Yeah, maybe analyzing them. That'd be really fun.
That would be really good. Hell yeah.
Yeah, get in touch. What's next?
I want to give you a moment, if you choose, to revise your 2 truths and a lie for season 2.
Oh yeah.
So My statements are: 1, Bobby Briggs finds redemption coaching Nadine on how to be the best high school football player in Twin Peaks high school history. That's the one that you have currently said is a lie. 2, Andy and Dick Tremaine become convinced that the child Lucy is parenting was fathered by the devil from the Bible. 3, Leo Johnson enters a non-consensual S&M relationship with Wyndham Earle. Do you wish to update your estimation of which one is a lie?
I think I need to. I mean, obviously, Nadine's high school sports fantasy is looking extremely likely right now. She just threw a dude, so they might try to recruit her, onto the football team.
If you throw a guy with the ball into the enemy end goal line, then that counts.
It must. Also, I really like the idea of calling opposing teams enemies. Yeah, so I think I've got to revise that one. That one has to be true. But as to which one is then a lie, this is tricky because I still don't know anything about Wyndham Earle. I know that he, quote, went crazy. So I guess he could be the kind of guy who does that. And honestly, Andy and Dick Tremaine, both pretty credulous, derogatory in Dick's case, loving in Andy's. So I'm going to say that the devil from the Bible thing is also true. I'm going to say that the Leo and Wyndham thing is not true.
All right. So at the moment, the only lie about season 2 is Leo Johnson entering a non-consensual S&M relationship with Wyndham Earle. And on that note, last time you said that this time on Twin Peaks, that The Birds was going to start happening, like the movie. I think because Pete had been looking at a bird. And Harry recruits Pete to help out. Oh, and owls and stuff. Briggs will become more relevant. He works with Dale on a spiritual metaphysical investigation. I think he became more relevant.
And I think that is only starting now. I would bet money that I'm right on that.
Yeah, I would say so too. And other one, female David Duchovny attempts to do investigations with Audrey at the makeup counter. No score for that one, unfortunately.
No score for that one. I still, by the way, really want to know what the fuck the situation is between Audrey and her father right now. Like, where is Audrey sleeping? What is she doing the rest of the time?
God, that is a good question. That's
something I want to know. And it feels like the show is just like not bothering to worry about the complexity that would introduce, which is fine.
Now, before we say what happens next time, I think I would like to give you one sneak peek about next episode.
Okay.
Which is that next episode will be the first appearance of female David Duchovny.
Let's go!
Woo!
Oh, this is great news.
I almost wish I wish that you hadn't known that was something that was going to happen, because if we just watched the next episode and then you were like, what the fuck, female David Duchovny? But I think being able to tantalize you with it is also just as fun.
Oh, definitely. My God.
So with that in mind, do you want to call any shots for next episode?
Okay. So since David Lynch died this week, I've been seeing that Fix Your Hearts or Die scene from The Return shared everywhere.
Yeah.
And from that, I know that female David Duchovny is in fact an FBI agent. Maybe I already knew that. I think she is going to show up and advocate for Dale in this ongoing investigation.
Love it. What do you think is an action that she takes beyond just advocating? You know what I mean?
I think female David Duchovny knows a little bit of secret about the Mounties' involvement in the whole investigation, just by coincidence. Basically she has been investigating. Well, it wouldn't really make sense for her to be investigating them. Yeah, fuck it, whatever. She has also been breaking the rules and doing Canada investigations.
Hell yeah. She has also been breaking the rules and investigating Canada. That most suspicious of countries.
It's true. She has unfortunately found us deeply guilty. B plot.
Let's see. We didn't see James at all this episode, which means we could maybe expect to see him next episode.
I think he's going to be gone a little bit longer, to be honest. I feel like that's sort of been telegraphed. I feel like it's been he'll be back eventually thing. You know what? I think the next episode is going to be Leland's funeral.
No, but wait. I feel like the implication is that it was this episode.
Well, that was
because she does
the wake. It
was like
right?
the wake, and she was like, "I want to be all there for the funeral." I think that we're seeing like the before or after funeral
Oh,
this
okay.
episode.
Okay, I trust you.
So let's see. We have Briggs disappeared. Maybe Wyndham Earl starts happening. We have James who's out there. I'm just throwing open plot lines out there to see if any of them speak to you.
Mm-hmm.
Or a B plot. It could be about Dick and Andy.
Okay, obviously there has to be some sort of pursuit of where the hell did Garland Briggs go? You know what I think it is? I think Dale is going to try to be on his best behavior and not do any like criminal investigations for the moment. So I think Harry and Hawk are going to have to team up with none other than Bobby Briggs to investigate.
Oh, fuck yeah.
His father's disappearance.
Fuck yeah. Can I throw Audrey in there? Because she had a scene with Bobby this episode, and we know she loves to investigate.
Yeah.
I just think that's fun. You know,
Yeah.
I don't remember if that happens, but it would be good. I would love to see her investigate, you know?
Well, yeah. No. I think that's a really good prediction, actually. And yeah, cool. I'm good with that.
All right. So next episode, female David Duchovny shows up to advocate for Dale. She knows a little of secret about the Mounties' involvement. By coincidence, she's also been breaking the rules and investigating Canada, that most suspicious of countries. Dale tries to be on his best behavior and not investigate, so Harry and Hawk team up with Bobby to investigate his father's disappearance, and Audrey joins in also.
Because that would be fun.
Yeah. All right.
Last time. Okay.
That's a podcast. This fucking 2 hours. Look at that.
Clean.
Bing, bang, boom.
Quick.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well,
thanks for listening, folks. We will we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.
Bye. TSTV is hosted by Sadie Avery Lake and yours truly, Lily Alexander. Our music is by Jamie Page, show art is by Mya Fernandes-Giles, and this episode was edited by Mary Chan at Organized Sound Productions. If you have any burning questions or comments for us, please send us an email at hello@tstv.show. We would love to hear from you. Thanks for listening.
Hello, it's Sadie. I'm here with your content warnings for Twin Peaks Season 2, Episode 11, Masked Ball. So, big picture, the show is going to be racist next episode. Not all the way through, but there are two incidents. One, we get some lore given to us by Hawk in a way that's very, like, indigenous mysticism is going to guide Dale on his quest, and just in ways that I think are pretty flattening and honest, textbook way of being racist towards indigenous people in these kinds of stories. The other one, we are going to learn about Josie's backstory, talks about childhood sexual assault, talks about anti-Chinese racism in ways that I think are pretty careless. I think the show does not do a good job in talking about that at all. For at least a scene or two there, it gets into some pretty difficult topics around all this in ways that end up honestly just feeling pretty gross. That said, hope you enjoy the episode and hope you have a lovely day.